This is my kind of dancing. Magic boxes. One might ask themselves what music has to do with life. I don't know, but I thought it would be a really cool intro
I think
for
it's
our
good.
guest, for our guest Agatha Fohler. How are you? Welcome in to the Dark Radio Network.
Hi, I'm good, thank you.
Cool. Well, give us another second to vibe out, and then we'll
Yeah.
go into it. I hope it puts you in place.
Oh, I'm in place.
Oh, you are? Okay. I thought that sounded cool. I thought that sounded cool. But
It does.
welcome in,
It's
greetings,
like this
everybody.
horror movie.
Oh
Um,
no, it's not that bad. Horror movie. It's not that bad.
No, it's not that bad. Well,
Okay, let's
kind of.
just we'll make sure we're live. We are live. Okay, so we're
Hi,
gonna hit.
guys.
Okay, so anyway, I asked myself. I wrote some notes here, but when we are experiencing life, we do experience moments I call higher energy perceptions. My example would best be delivered as saying in love and death. Maybe it's a birthday, or maybe it's Christmas. It's a good vibe. It's kind of like, to me, I guess I would say, in relationship to an amazing type of consciousness vibe, something that piques us, brings us into a different physicality of reality of life, and how it comes and goes, and why we have blank spots within this. How do we find what triggers it and keeps us there? It seems we have testing points, and if you only see things as normal, life will only be just that, normal, which then weighs in on the positivity with negative life systems. Some call it, meaning me calling it, a controlled independence, which is our own fight against our own consciousness. You care to comment on that? Or how do you perceive it? Because we do
That was very complicated. Just ask me, please, one question. I didn't understand. Like birth and death, and okay, and
okay.
then what?
Okay. So what I'm trying to say, I guess, because you gave me such insight last time, and I had just so you know, I had a lot of people. They loved you. They really did.
Yeah, I just
Um,
want to say I'm Agathe Fohler. I'm a healer, I'm a psychic, I'm a star seed for the people who are new here. Thank you so much, Michael, for having me on your show today.
oh,
I'm
blessings.
in
Sure.
in Paraguay in Asunción, and I was dancing a lot the last two days because I really needed it. No, I don't take drugs. No, I don't drink. I'm total sober. People were looking at me and saying, "What? You don't take anything?" I said, "No, I don't take anything. My drug is music."
Ah,
So when he played the music, I was like, dun, 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 it's like inside of me, it was like,
okay. You had to, so it sounded a little different on the inside than what really came through on the outside, huh?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
We'll leave that
music is
alone. We'll leave
best
it alone.
because
I-
you can tap into different frequencies, and this is what I love about life, and this is what life is all about. Even if you're born, you can tap into different frequencies. Like when you have a sound, a melody, maybe that's like connected, and answering your question. So what I do is when I dance, there's the bass, there are like the really high pitchy sounds, and you can either listen to the full melody, or you can tap into different frequencies and go with the rhythm. And this is what I love, and this is what I love about life, to tap into different frequencies.
Right. And that's kind of like where I was going in that confusing phrase. And I apologize for any confusion on my part, but see, you know how in life we experience things, and say it's love for the first time. Let's just say that's the case scenario. Spiritually, you're energized because there's something vibing. Now, I know it takes two to create that vibe, but the other person is actually doing something to the other person as well as you are doing to them. There's something there, and it's not about the connection, but it is about the connection that gives us a higher, heightened thing of life, an energy, and we're energized from certain aspects of experiences. So my question, that I look at, and hopefully maybe some insight uh, that you could offer. How do we stay focused in that higher energy concept? Because you can't meet a new person every day, fall in love every day. That's just a
Oh
hypothetical.
yeah,
Oh,
you
you
can.
can?
Yeah, you can meet
So you're
every
not,
day
that's why
and
you're never
walk by.
getting married.
That's a different love, right? Are you talking
Okay.
about relationship? Are you talking about love? Of course, I see people. I went to this like I'm here in Paraguay, and I really had to go 2 weeks to Buenos Aires because I didn't go dancing for like 3 months. And for me, I love music. I need to dance. I need to do some sport or be in nature or something. But here, I couldn't do any of those. So I went to this really, okay, it's like lining up. I just want to make something like a person has to make a decision, and it's just all about one person, okay? Like you as a person. So I was in Buenos Aires and I was staying in a hotel, and it was always noisy, and I can't cook by myself because it's a hotel. So I made the choice, when I come back here to Asunción, I will pay more money, but I need to feel good and I need to be in a place where I can cook, I can go to the gym, and I can swim. So I'm fulfilling my needs, no one else. It's my
Hmm.
choice. Because I made this choice, paying more money for myself, being in a place that is good for me, it created this kind of chain which is like unbelievable. So I'm going to the internet and I'm looking, hopefully, if something, maybe some event shows up that I can go dancing, which it hasn't in the last 3 months. All of a sudden, I'm finding this huge event with the right music. I love electronic. And it's just 10 minutes down the road. And I'm like, what? Okay, Chuck, I booked, I got the ticket, and I was like, yeah, I can go by myself. I used to go by myself, and I don't need people to go and party. Just have faith, trust. So I tapped into my old new me, trusting in the universe that it will take care of me. So I went out, I went dancing, and that was the most interesting night which I had in a long time. So because the tickets had VIP, first block, second block, third block, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't need VIP. But it always looks fancy. Shall I spend the money on myself? I said, no, I take this cheapest ticket because I just want to dance. So I went there. Whoa. Then I saw again different frequencies tapping into different sections. So then I saw, wow, okay, VIP, very important person, were all squished into the DJ pult, and it looked like a tiny cradle, like a prison, and it was full, it was packed, but they could hardly move. They were behind the DJ, but they couldn't dance. I was like, okay, this is not a place I want to be. I'm not, it's like I was laughing about them and about myself and about life. And I was like, very important person is paying a lot of money to be behind the DJ pult and being squished in. Check. Okay. So then I went to the big dancing area. At first, I was on the side. Then I moved around. Then I went into the back and I got my own VIP. All of a sudden, I had this like cradle kind of a thing, and I had my own space to myself, and I was just dancing. It was the same height as the DJ. And then I tuned into this frequency, and I was thinking, wow, I'm on the same level as the DJ now. So I'm the very important person in my life because I created it. And then I was just vibing, okay? I was just going into this frequency while dancing. And then there were some other people, they wanted to come and squish it, and I wouldn't let them. I said, no, this is like my time. This is for me because I always let people pass by me. This is for me. Knowing that when I leave, I will tell the person and he can come in. So I just enjoyed. I vibed into this frequency, and I was thinking, usually when I used to dance, a lot of good things show up in my life. Doing this, I left this private space, whatever I had, and then I just walked up to the front of the DJ pult. And then I was thinking, I don't know why people always make such a big fuss. You just have to do it, because I was in front of the DJ dancing. I made some videos. I was like, okay. So then I was thinking, Then I used to dance and I used to have fun. A lot of good things would show up. I would love to be with all of this crowd, VIP crowd, just to see if it works. But then around 5 o'clock, I got tired and I wanted to go home. And I slept well. I was so happy. I was smiling and sleeping. And then the next day I woke up and then I had a good day. I was working and um, I went at 7 p.m. I knocked out. I was so tired. I don't know what happened. And all of a sudden, I heard music in the building I'm living in, I'm staying in. I woke up, and then something in me is like, go up. No, it's a private party, second voice. And I'm like, go up. Like you're two angels, good one and devil, it's like, and I'm like, Agatha, if you don't try, you never know. They can say you have to leave, or you just go up and you listen to the music. It's beautiful. You just stand. They don't have to dance. So I'm going up. There's a crowd of people, and they're like, ah. And I'm like, you can stay. We invite you. And I'm like, with my broken Spanish, and I'm like, okay. And there was a baby party, and I'm like, they're inviting me to a baby party. But there were two parties, a baby party and not like the other party. And I'm like, okay. And then they started coming up with this most amazing music, which like we had the day before when I went into this huge festival. Guess what? Those people who had the event yesterday were the people who were throwing the huge event the day before. So all those DJs were playing here in my building where I'm staying up on the roof. So if I wouldn't have chosen this place for myself, if I wouldn't have gone up listening to the negative voice, I wouldn't have had this amazing experiences. And then I found out all the young people stay here in this building, and I just got connected with them on Instagram. So if there's something going on, they will let me know. That's about tapping into frequencies.
Okay.
And you don't need others, you just need yourself.
Well, I get, yeah, I understand that. But once we get there, how do we stay there? It's kind of like that vibe, that special feeling of energy and consciousness that moves us to these elevated places. And you just explained it can come within choice and by your own actions, correct?
Actions and choice. Okay,
Okay.
let me give you another example. I went up in the elevator. I was very scared. I was thinking, shit, if they don't like me, if they reject me, if there's nothing, if it's uncomfortable, all those voices. So of course, when I start dancing, I'm a crazy dancer. Then I thought, okay, I want to fit into, I don't like in a way, I don't want to fit into it. I want to dance, but at the same time, I don't want to be awkward because they invite me. I want to be polite. And then I just thought, no. And I went back into my heart frequency. I closed my eyes, I went into my heart frequency, and I was thinking, okay, what if they like me? What if they don't like me? What if the girls get jealous because there's so many boys? And I don't want to make anyone jealous because those are the things which I had to get always confronted in the past, right?
Right.
And then I was thinking, no, I go into my heart. I look at every woman and every man with love, like pure, unconditional love, just as they are, as a beautiful soul dancing. Not how they look, not what they're wearing, not what they're drinking or taking drugs, because I don't do it. And sometimes I'm judgmental. So I went into my heart frequency and I just felt the love because I love music. And that love, I just saw the people with that love. And that's when everything changed. And then one guy came and he pushed me to the DJ pult and he's like, dance, Agatha, dance. And then I went up to the DJ and I looked at him and he's like, come, you stay with me. And I'm like, oh God, okay. So that's how it goes. You just need to vibe with yourself and to be really strong in yourself, no matter what happens around you. So yesterday it was a challenge, but at the same time, I saw how it works.
Okay. Yeah. I like to see that we can, or try to present the informations that you have and that you support and influence the people. Because I know people do look at you for, being that crutch in ways. So I want to thank you for what you can share, what you do offer here. I really want you to know that up front.
Thank you.
Watching you dance would probably be pretty fun because you said you're kind of like, I don't know, but was it techno?
electronic and gothic
What's the
and
difference
kind
between
of
like
rock. Yeah, it was a mix. Awesome.
what's the difference between techno glow lights and electro or
To be
whatever?
honest, I haven't understood it till now. I just don't understand the whole thing. I always ask them and they try to explain it to me. I just know when I like it and I know when I don't like
Okay. Well, I'm
it.
glad you had a great time and you found yourself. And you said because you treated yourself, everything became better. It became one. It was a whole
Yeah,
different expression of how universal
it's
things came
about
to you.
understanding that the fear is an illusion, that whatever the voice is saying in your head is total crap. If you don't try, you'd never know. And then
Okay.
even if people might reject you, you can just walk away and go somewhere else and then do your thing, you know. It's like it's really not about the others. It's about you making yourself happy.
See, that's key. As you said, you have the choice to walk away, shut it off, or come back to it, or just stay away from
It's
it.
it's not even shutting it off. It's like a choice. I made a German video the other day in the morning when I came from the party, when I was making fun of VIP paying lots of money for actually being stuck into a certain structure. So I said the richest people on earth are the people who are free, and the people who are free are the ones who don't pay much money for something because they enjoy just, you know, enjoying the space. And many people pay a lot of money to get a VIP and then being stuck in a structure. So it doesn't mean that poor people are free and free people are poor. It just means that you can choose. You can choose how you want to feel. And when you feel a certain way because you choose, it's like going to a buffet and then you have broccoli, you have meat, you have egg, you have bread, whatever. You can walk by, have a look, and say, oh, I love bread. I take this piece of bread, I eat it and I enjoy it. But I don't like broccoli. But you can stay in front of the broccoli and say, look at this broccoli. It's green, it's this and that. And then you forget to see all the variety what's laying up on the table. So
Right.
it's a shift in your mindset. It's like you had two events in the day, one person who greets you and one person who um, tells you to fuck off. Okay, so you the whole
Whoa.
yeah, so
The
the
big
whole
F
day,
bomb out of you. Okay.
yeah, so the whole
Yeah.
day your head can be running around, why did he tell me to f off, why did he do that, what's wrong with me? But you could say, you know what, he had a bad day, let it go. There was this one person, he smiled at me, it made my day. And then you just go into this vibe and frequency of smiling at you and getting this vibe that someone smiled at me, wow, I'm smiling back. You know, you it's really a decision you have to make. It's like it's a snap.
Right. Right. No, I get where you're coming from. I follow you. I do. I just, people weigh in with different issue matters and so forth. So I hope that
Exactly.
we just
Exactly. It's a decision you make you when you wake up in the morning. You can tap into the pain of your body, or you can say, thank you, body, that I have you. What can we do that we feel better? It's about the focus to the solution, not the problem.
right. Is there any foods that help within that? Because I know you're quite fond of food. You probably eat more than any man I know because I see what you eat. And
Yeah, I do.
but that's okay. That's okay. We all need nourishment, and in some ways, these create positive energies within us. When we taste something that we love, like butter dip Alaskan king crab or something like that, it's like wow, this is just like heaven. You know what I mean? It's a mouth orgasm, like
Yes.
chocolate melting in your mouth. And I
Yeah.
didn't mean for that to be so, but I said it just like you said the f bomb.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Just be
These are
yourself. Yeah.
right, but these are good experiences. But when we walk through life every day, how do is there a better way in health, in body, in mind, in your experience that you could express or just help people to know, about certain types of foods? Do they
Yeah.
have to be really organic? Because now we're hearing some organic foods are actually GMO, and they have the third less value of natural growing products. So it's a big catch 22. How do you feel about that? And is there any positive direction through this?
Yeah, for sure. Because in Germany, we have the Rudolf Steiner people. It's like this Waldorf school. It's a nice concept. I'm not a fan of them, to be honest. Um, and we have called something Demeter, which is like total organic. But when you go there and you buy the fruits and vegetables, they don't taste. There's no taste. Why should I eat something which is supposed to be healthy and it doesn't taste? It's like
Right.
I can eat paper, you know? It's like saving money and I just eat my paper. I can do that. And then I look at the people and they have this gray aura and they look like very grumpy and like very skinny. It's like they're going to die or something. I'm thinking, okay, this is not good, healthy. Sorry, you know? I mean, okay, you can eat unhealthy stuff and go every day to McDonald's and be like total overweight and you don't feel good in yourself and you have constipation. I'm not saying this, but I'm saying is have a healthy way.
You
Listen to your
said it.
body. Yeah. So I love chocolate. So if I go to a place and it's made with love and I get this dark chocolate, which is made from love and it's not 100% organic, but it creates this love vibration in my body, of course I eat it. Why shouldn't I? It's tasty. It gives my heart and my soul like some comfort and whatever it is. Even salad, you know, there's some salads like in the McDonald's, they look like I don't know what, and you think I don't want to eat that. But if I make my salad fresh from the garden and I put some nice herbs and spices, I love it, of course. So the balance is it tasty? Does it have a good vibration? Does it come from people who make it with love? And that makes the whole thing. Because poison and in your body is what, first of all, the brain does. Like if you say chocolate is poison, of course it will affect your body. And okay, there's one example. The masters in the Himalayas or wherever, they would say the quantity, the amount makes it poisonous, right? So we're all different people. So just because one dietitian is saying this is healthy, it doesn't mean it's healthy for you. What I discovered is we have a certain blood type and it really worked for me. So there's a blood group diet. I'm lactose intolerant, even though they say I can eat meat very well. I don't like it. So I found out, trusting myself, listening to my body, what I need. For example, I do the starseed activation, I do the healer activation. So I teach people supplements which are healthy, nourishing the body, alkalining the body, and refilling the depots in the cell structure. There are some diets, they really they take out everything. It's like you're flushing out everything, but your body needs some minerals. So whatever you do in your life, it's always about knowing yourself. Where does it come from? How's the energy? I had a time I would eat chocolate and it would be from a factory and I couldn't sleep the entire night till I realized, wow, it's a chocolate from the factory because there's some energy that I'm not able to sleep. So that's a lot of stuff you need to figure out by knowing yourself.
And you bring up something fascinating there too. By accident, I started coming across food labels where chocolates now in America are being bioengineered and plant-based foods being added to it and things like that. And to me, that's just a negative type of uh, energy. And why shouldn't it be? Because most people would fear the first three letters of that technology, BIO. What is it? How did you make it?
It's just a commercial thing, you know. It's like when they say Ayurveda. Do you know how much money people make money from Ayurveda and it's not even the real deal?
Oh, yeah. I get what you're saying.
I don't go for brands.
Oh, no, I understand. So it's better for us to eat natural and by preparing ourselves more, unless we can trust one's hands who's serving it. And again,
and for me, it's most important. I need fresh leaves. I need salad. I need fresh stuff. Like most important. Like my body, my skin, my whole, even my psychic. Because we were talking about how we feel, our emotions. are totally connected to food. It really does.
Okay. So, I mean, wouldn't everybody need what you need though? I mean, what would make one different from the fact that you do it? Or, and I'm not dogging you. I mean, I do the same thing of what you're talking about. And I try to be creative because I feel like this: if it looks good, it's going to taste even better. So I like to be creative on how I do things. I might take a tomato and cut a rose into it and put it right in the middle of my plate. Yeah, it
Yeah, yeah.
might sound a little feminine, but no,
No, it's
it's a
awesome.
culinary art.
Yeah,
And if I have the
yeah,
ability to carve it, I do it.
yes,
So whatever
beautiful.
presentation I can give makes me feel better about receiving it, I guess, in ways. So
Yeah,
that's the point of the energy. That's the fabric of how the energy works on some of these levels, is what you're explaining to me.
yes. It's
Okay.
always the eye. For me, smell is so important. I can smell if something is good or not. Use
Hmm.
your senses, and most of the people don't use the senses anymore. Yeah. I just want to close the door because the mosquitoes are coming in. Sorry.
Okay. I'll wait for you. No dancing, no dance breaks. Anyway, if you're just joining us, it's Studio 10 Broadcasting 10 o'clock talks, the Dark Side Radio Network with Agatha Fohler. And she's a seer, a psychic, and she
Thank
does
you.
food advice and more. So thank you for joining in. And if you can't share us out, get some more people in to join us. I'd appreciate it. And please share us into your favorite groups. And don't forget, everybody, um, Agatha, why don't you tell us a little bit about your group? It's been very, very successful. So I didn't want to, I was going to do it just now. I know who they are. Massive number of 244,000 people. And look, I know people that are rock stars that don't even have that kind of group. You know, they got groupies,
Really?
but they
Thank you.
there are some, yeah, without a doubt. And remember, we're in a time where a lot of people are turning their backs on Hollywood and different things like that because they want their energies focused on better people and better places, not negativity because of information that drips down and gets into one's consciousness, and they weigh a fact. You either accept the
Mm,
negativity or you just accept
Um,
where you can and how you can find positivity.
the thing is that everything has a white and a black. And if you see, I always say the light has darkness and the darkness has light. And sometimes the darkness has more light than we can imagine. Just because our eyes have a certain frequency doesn't mean that that's what we see is how it is.
Is that like
I
dark
love,
matter?
yeah, I would love to talk about dark matter. It's all about knowledge, secret geometry, all those things which were hidden in the past, which we were hunting witches when we were killing all the druids, the Celt. I'm like from Germany. I'm from a Celtic area. At the same time, my mom's side is from the very strong Lemurian side. I have this Atlantean energy. I have those. So you were asking about the group. When I um, how do I say, I'm born psychic. I'm born knowing who I am. I'm born with remembering all my past lives. Not all, many. So I had visions when I was doing all those weird yoga stands, and like a yogi, and I was thinking, why I'm doing this? And my mom never said anything. My parents can't hear and speak, so we speak sign language. It's like I'm always making faces, but this is how I am. I make facial expression to express myself emotional. So I had a lot of those things when I was little, and my surrounding didn't understand it because I'm born 1980. That time till 2012 in Germany, people did not meditate. People did not um, do any religion or stuff besides being Catholic or whatever that other thing is called.
Oh, there's
And
many. There's many.
yes, but in Germany, we were like, even in school, if you had, you were banned from religion if you were not in the same religion category as all the others. You were not allowed to go to communion. You had a lot of rejection just because of religion and even skin color. And what I felt is always I was very much connected with the spiritual world, always. Like my soul, my guides, they always guide me, always, wherever I go.
Do you?
And that was,
I don't want to interrupt you, but you say something that's really significant here because a lot of people would want to know this. Are you hearing something, or do you receive some type of message that you had to figure out what
always.
these messages are? Is it actually
Yeah.
like a voice?
Yeah, it's a very strong voice. Like I did palliative care once when my dad was, okay, I can, that's like, a lot of to talk. So about me, so I knew that I'm special, but people around me didn't see it and made me very frustrated. So when I would say something, they didn't take me for full. So I would hear things, people, I would like sometimes I would hear 1,000 voices at the same time and it freaked me out. And that time to have fun with it, I would tap into the different voices and tune in. And I was like, why are there so many voices in my head? Of course, I didn't talk to anyone because my parents wouldn't have understood and I couldn't explain it in sign language. So I just dropped it. I just left it and I figured it out for myself and with myself. So I even learned to program myself when I was scared going up in the dark because my parents would let me watch TV black and white. So I would program myself that if I go to sleep, I wrap myself into a pillow and I just imagine I'm Alice in Wonderland, which has a beautiful green garden, lots of flowers and animals. And that's how I put myself to sleep because I knew as a child I need to sleep, right? Because my parents
Mhm.
didn't care if I go to school or not. So I had
Okay.
the freedom, but I didn't like the freedom. I didn't appreciate it because I had to, as a child, go to school, right?
Yeah, it's called the
So
mandate thing. Yeah, right. I get it.
yeah, so in Germany, it was always very tough because the people around me were from the war. They didn't like my skin color. They had issues with my mom's religion, which she's a Buddhist. And then I had a foster family kind of where they were doing transcendental meditation. We were not allowed to talk about it. So I grew up with Ayurveda and yoga and all those things. Bef- Later, when I was 12, I didn't know those things when I was a child. And then I cried. I cried for days and I was thinking, where's my soul family? Where are the children who have those psychic abilities? Because if I have them, and this is just the beginning, there's so much more. And where are they? I can't be here alone. Then I thought, okay, let me do one thing. If I help other people to awaken, then I'm not alone anymore. That was my main goal. Okay. That was like, I didn't want to be alone anymore. And then I thought, I had a dream, and in the dream, the master, it's like a dream is awesome. So it was like an old man with a white beard, and he was sitting on a huge rock and he was talking in English to me. And I'm like, who are you? And he's like, Agatha, you're not just from Sirius and Venus. And what did he say? You're not just from Venus and Sirius and one more planet. You are Arcturus, or like Arctur. And I was like, it was so weird. It was in English. I've never heard this thing before. And I was like, what? And I woke up in the morning and I was trying to Google it and I couldn't find anything. I was like, Atrium, no, that's not. Then Arcturus from the movie with Michael Ende. Please watch it. Awesome. And I was like, no, I cannot find it. But I wrote it down. Many years later, I found one woman. She finally spoke about the Arcturian. And I'm like, wow, okay. And because I cried so much, I created this group, Arcturian Facebook group. That's the reason why I made it. Because of the dream, not because of Dolores Cannon. I didn't even know her that time. We didn't have much internet. And I created this group. And then when I went to Hawaii, all of a sudden, boom, COVID came, boom. People were talking about Arcturian, and now so many people are talking about Arcturian because of Edgar Casey, because of Dolores Ken, but I didn't know about those things. I was in Germany. We didn't know about this.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And about hearing things, voices. When I was in Germany, I did palliative care. That's like looking after people. They're dying soon. So I just sit with them, read a book. I'm just there if the family members cannot do it. So I can see when people pass away soon. And I knew my dad is leaving soon. So I cried. I always cry before it happens because when it happens, I'm strong. I'm ready. So then I cried and I was like talking to my friend. I said, my dad is dying soon. And she trusted me. She believed me because she knew who I am or how I am. And she said, it's okay, Agathe. Everything will be fine. So one day, my sister messaged me. I came back from work and she said, oh, dad is in the hospital. And I'm like, oh my God, he's going to die. She said, no, no, don't go. He's fine. It's just some tummy issue. That moment, a voice really strong, really loud, really intense said, you're going to the hospital now. I messaged her, I said, I'm going to the hospital. She said, no, it's all okay. You don't have to go. I went to the hospital straight. He was in quarantine because they didn't know what he had. And he was old and he slipped almost on the ground in the bathroom because he was not well. And I just grabbed him before he fell. And I'm like, whoa. So I put him back to bed. And since that time, I have this really strong voice, like really strong when something is really important, which guides me, besides having dreams and people and my masters guide me.
Wow. So that's just, I don't know. For me, I've never experienced anything like that. But I told you, I feel like I'm a download person. You know how I experience things, and maybe other people do and have something similar to me, or they actually have things like you that occur for you in ways occur to them. I don't know. Uh, but to me, I just think it's one of these things. It's that big mystery of answers, and it seems like you have something that everybody in a way would desire to have, but I always say be careful what one wishes for, because not everybody could handle it anyway. So you're
True.
probably given this gift for a reason, just like the same reason that you had this dream and then established this group that's like 250,000 people, and probably had people come and people go. The numbers are probably even more significant because we do have things like that occur in groups. People come, people go, and whatnot. Um, so, heading into this with telling us who you are and all that, is there anything in this day and time that would be significant for people? I know, it's more about talking about who you are, trying to get like the deep dive of the interview with you. But could you suggest anything to people on the focus points and energies right now? If we
Yes,
go into
always.
anything bad, I mean, you hear about these events and people are saying, oh, this is biblical and all that. And I just want to send like a note of positivity to people so they have some type of uh, confidence inside them.
It's very easy. I don't get into this crap. I don't watch news if people talk negative. I was in Independencia, which is a community full of German people. They were talking whole day, entire day, every day about COVID, sickness, this, that. I told people off. I have no idea how many times I told people off when they started talking about it. I said, I'm just not interested. Don't listen. I don't want to listen to it. Don't tell me this nonsense. And sometimes I was surprised. They were like, okay. And then they were so in their mindset, so in their frequency that they don't care what I said, that I don't want it. So I
Hmm.
stepped away from them and I left them. I said, this is not my place to be, because even though they were eating healthy, being all about healthy lifestyle, they were the first ones who got sick. And I was in a house with a lady, which she was totally into healthcare. And she said, like all of the stuff. And I was like, why are you, all of you are sick? Then she said, oh no, it's the 5G frequency tower something. And I was like, it's not even operating. It's just some tower standing there. I'm healthy, I said. So I must be doing something right, right? And they didn't talk much about it that I was fine, but in the end, they all came because I had to look after them because they were all sick. And I was like, no, this is not my
Hmm.
duty, because it's your duty to keep the crap away and to focus on the positive things in life. That's how it works. You have a good and strong immune system if you're happy. That's why I don't say stay safe, I say stay happy. And if I tell people, hey, stop telling me to stay safe, because I'm safe, I'm protected, stay happy because you want to be happy in life. This is the okay. Most important is make sure you're happy. Most important is be unique. Most important is don't compare yourself to others. Most important is focus, focus, focus.
I get where you're at. I get where you're at, and I hope some people can understand that. So because no matter the mindset, if you're doing something that makes you happy, don't change because it's making you happy, and that
Yeah,
makes you stronger. When all this hit, when the big one niner did occur, I said to myself, I don't know if I can accept all this stuff and all these things and all these roles. And I had different thoughts about different things. And the way I weighed it out was I'm not going to be held back because all these negative words were coming out.
that's, the thing is why people, I mean, it's good to work with history. I love history if it's about sacred geometry and we were like starting to talk about dark matter.
Hmm.
You can take a knife. I always take this example. You can take a knife, you can cut the bread and make a butter bread and enjoy the bread and eat it. You can take a knife and stab someone in the back. Is the knife bad? No, it's not the knife. It's the person with the intentions.
Hmm.
So if something happens in this entire universe, and this is something I don't get why people are always like getting into this negative stuff. Don't you have any faith into the universe? Don't you have any faith into there's a soul plan, that there's a higher plan, much higher than us, that everything happens for a reason? Everyone has to die. So let's say, um, if we just a simple thing, okay? Of course, if my dad dies, I'm upset. Of course, I'm upset. I love him. But at the same time, I know his soul is going to move into another body. Does it make me sad? No, it makes me happy because I know he's somewhere out there and he's not dead. His soul is alive. He just changed the room. I mean, if you are with your wife or friends or whatever in a living room and you have to go and peep and poop, you go to the toilet. They don't see you. Do they cry and scream and yell, oh no, he's going to poop now, he's leaving? No, because you're coming back, right? And that's what it is like. Guys, everyone has to die. If I die tomorrow, I have done every day something in my life, and this has driven me since I'm 9 years old. What I did is, I don't know why I did it. I was thinking, what happens if I die tomorrow? So the next day in school, I went up to everyone. I was 9. And I apologized for everything I did to them. I made them cry, or I had a fight, or whatever. I said, I'm really deeply sorry about it. Because I knew if I die tomorrow, I don't want to have any grudge with anyone. And I want people to know that I love them. And I want people to know that I'm sorry and I've apologized for something I have done, either intentionally or unintentionally. But the point is, if you do every day something to clear your mind and your soul and your heart, in the end, you don't care if you die. And if you don't care if you die, then those people don't have no power over you when they create such a scene. But if such a scene is created, that means, don't you have any faith that everything is frequency? People talk about frequency, right? So don't you understand that those people at this time of space and reality have created the scenario that those people are supposed to leave, not because of the dramatic and the intense and how evil the world is, just because if they take all this burden with them to a different frequency dimension, they're helping to release karma from that city, country, or whatsoever. That is a very different view of how to look at things. So if those people left, yes, they left grieving people behind. But you know what creates karma? If they're grieving and having hate, creating hate towards other countries or other people who might have created this scenario, instead of looking at those peoples and souls who have done this kind of sacrifice, I don't believe in sacrifice, to leave and create a beautiful healing environment. Okay, let's come to suicide. This is something very important. When people do suicide, there are different layers. Religion, which says the person who did suicide is a shame, is a burden, is a sin for our family. So people stopped talking about it. People were scared to grieve. People were like trying to hide it. And it created this really heavy karma within the family, always having some secrets and something is going on and they don't know what's going on because they had to hide it. Wrong. We don't want to hide those things. When it comes out that someone died in the family, and that's like in the very first beginning when I started realizing I can talk to spirits which are passed away. we went to this breakfast, and we call it the witch club. So we would go every Tuesday for breakfast. And that one day there was a man, and he was grieving. He was very angry. He was very angry and very angry and very frustrated and very grumpy with life, everything in him, around him. Then I saw the spirit, the sun. I was like, and he made me laugh. That son who died made me laugh. And I'm like looking at him. I said, "Do you have a son?" And he's like, "Yes, he'd killed himself, and I'm suing the pharma industry because they gave him those tablets, and they're the reason why he died and did suicide." And I'm like, I looked, okay, then I went to the washroom. This boy made me even more laugh, and I'm like trying to suppress that because I'm sitting in the toilet. He makes me laugh, and I'm like, they must be thinking I'm cuckoo. So I came out back to the breakfast, and I looked at the father. I said, like washing my hands because I need cold water sometimes to clear my energy. And I'm looking at the father, and I'm like, I said, "Your son used to be very cheerful, right?" He looked at me, he's like, "Yes." And everyone looked at me, and they're like, "What's going on here?" I said, "So maybe he did suicide for you to reconnect with your emotions." And that's what mostly happens is people in families which do suicide, they help the family members to reconnect with their emotions, either that they can grieve or they can have any emotions and release it from their emotional body and physical body. And people who do suicide, yes, they might come back, but some of them, it was like a plan of their soul contract to do that, to help to awaken the family members to wake up and to reconnect with their emotions, which they have lost over the years, over the centuries, over the ancestral traumas whatsoever. It's a very different perspective.
Yeah, it's quite different. It's acceptable because in ways there's usually an analogy that we never find out about, and many probably would never think about what you just said and the way you said it. But maybe there's a valid point to it. I'm not, I shouldn't say maybe. I understand it's your point and I respect it. But people also have to respect the things that come from our voices. But it's really interesting. Maybe people are just caught in that moment of wait till I'm gone, they'll understand, or you know what I mean, like things of that nature, because they, in their mindset, they do it for whatever reason, and it will have an ill effect. Does that ill effect equal logic? I honestly don't know.
I'm going one step further, and I might get some negative comments, but to be honest, I don't care. Just imagine we are all souls and we come to Earth to have a certain experience.
Right.
Who has the right to trap me into a mental clinic? Who has the right to tell me to be alive if I want to die? It's my life, it's my choice, right? So if sometimes people say, "Oh, they're suicidal," or this and that, and they're a threat to themselves, isn't it my choice what I do with my life? This is something I'm always wondering, how dare some other people can tell me what I do with my life? It's my choice, right? And
Yeah,
if
we
we
had
just,
doctors that help people end their lives, and they went to prison for it. But it doesn't mean that that was right either. You might remember Doctor, I think his name was Kevorkian, who did. Uh, 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 they, there was a soft disclosure word that they used for it, but he was actually helping people cross over for whatever reasons. But
yes,
it was mainly because they were sick or they were suffering. And then he
yeah, and
stepped in.
yes, exactly. Thank you. And in the very first thing rule is in palliative care is what we learn is when people are old and they about to die, they're not hungry, they're not thirsty. It's very normal. They don't suffer
Right.
because that's how the soul disconnects from the body, right? The soul needs to transition to another reality or room. I call it room. So
Yeah, I want to
what
get into
people,
that. I'm sorry. I want to
yeah.
get into that for just a minute when you finish.
Yeah, so what people do in the hospitals to make money and to
Yeah.
put in people's head, your person is dying, you should do everything you can do to keep them. Why? Their body is getting old, their body is telling them, hey, my time is up, I want to leave. Yes, family members grieve, but how many countries, Mexico, India, Diwali, whatsoever, they're celebrating the death. Remember that the soul is just moving, and you can always connect with your passed aways, angels, whatever how they come back in your heart. So the hospitals are having this oath that they have to keep people alive. But now it's not about that anymore, because they don't do that oath anymore. A friend of mine, she's a client. She was a client, now she's a friend, she's a doctor. She said they don't do that oath anymore, that I think I forgot this guy's name, but it's like having a vote saying that I will protect people's life. They don't do this anymore, okay?
Okay.
So what they do in hospitals now is they make a lot of money to keep on the machineries, to nourish their body so that they can't die. This is torture. You trap the soul in circles in the body, that the family members have them some more time in their bed, which is absolute rubbish. I'm so sorry to say it. No, I'm not sorry. This is, you don't want to make someone suffer if they want to leave. It's no one's permission to keep anyone trapped if the person in the bed wants to leave and the soul says, I'm ready. This is so important.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. And that's why there's hospices and things like that where people can go to make that transformation. And that's, I got to take my hat off to people like that stand there. Sometimes they're the only family that person in that bed will ever have in their last moments of life before they leave. But I actually think the soul leaves before things like that occur. But we do have laws where, you sign and leave orders, do not resuscitate, and things of like those natures. But that is the one who has that particular life and soul's decision. So if they say do not resuscitate, yeah, we get it, we understand it. But if one says jump up and down on my chest, keep me here as long as you can, we do know, and we have found out. I mean, this isn't theoretically. It has happened where people have made a 99% turnaround and walked out and had a 5-year life that lasted longer.
Yes.
So it's kind of a catch-22 trap. It's one of those the divisions of trapping. It's a whole system of consciousness and trapping that keeps us lost. I get every point you make; they're all valid, and I do trust within them. But there are rare occasions where life has been spared.
Totally. Yes. But I trust, as I said, in the universe that there's the right person at the right time at the right place. But don't keep people hanging on to some machineries when you exactly know, okay, yes, there have been people in coma for 20 years and they came back. But, it's like the soul is talking to us. So it's not my mind now deciding or saying something. It's like also looking into the situation and then let the soul and the angels and the spiritual world talk to us. That's why we had people like healers and witches and druids, because they were helping us in those moments.
So, all right, we'll step beyond that because it gets quite deep, and we don't need to create controversial matter from it. It's just information and opinion, and I respect yours. I truly do. I feel you're a good friend, and you're just being as honest and open and transparent as you can be. But so, afterlife. Okay, this room, you kind of suggested, as you call it, and I respect that. What do we make of that? I mean, can you explain? I mean, do you have any explanation about that particular phase and the fact that some people never leave that room and they observe us in our dimension and never really leave this dimension, even though they do? What's that whole phase that we, some people promote as we got to get them to the light? They're lost. They don't know how to get there. They're afraid. They have a fear. They did something in life. They're afraid of forgiveness and scenarios like that. Is there any good words of support that kind of explain that?
Yeah. When a person dies, there are different levels. One person dies, comes back as an angel. One person dies, one part of the soul. We have soul fragments. We're not just one. We're like many, many things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's connected being a star seed. A star seed, let's say we incarnate from Venus. It's a very high frequent energy, but to incarnate in a body here on Earth, we have to reduce the frequency. How do we do it? We get rid of certain soul parts which are high frequent. Those are there somewhere in the atmosphere. They're stored in the Akashic records, which are part of us, but not fully incarnated here on Earth, which are coming back now more and more. That's one reason that psychic abilities are coming back stronger. So when a person dies, one part might be stuck because of trauma at the place where the body was dying. That's like the lost spirit. One part goes, gets reincarnated. Another part comes back as an angel or ancestor, because we have ancestors, we call them, right, when we have rituals or do healing. So there are different parts of them. Yes, a soul which had a traumatic incident, they often don't, or even people who are scared of dying, because let's say in church they said, oh, when you smoke, you go to hell. So they knew they smoked, so they're very scared. I had that a couple of times. They were very scared to die. So they were going into the dying process, and then all of a sudden they were like back into normal because they were so afraid to die. They wouldn't die. So what I did is I did tell them, I said, you know what? And we do this with the lost souls tools. I have made a healing tool on my YouTube channel. I made a video about this. So the very first thing is you do when you know there's a passed away spirit trap, you can light a candle. That's why we have Halloween, we have Diwali, we have Dia de Muerte in Mexico. We have all those in all cultures, Allerheiligen in Germany, that we bring the light to the passed away so that they can find the way home, because they have they don't know that they're dead. So what I do is 3 times you say that you're dead, you're not alive, my body is mine, you don't have a body, because sometimes they get stuck to people who are alive because they want to have a body. So you tell them, my body is mine, you don't have a body anymore, you're dead, but you can go home. There's nothing to forgive, there's no sin. You can go home to the light, to the people who love you. Go home, and then you visualize light beams or bridges and angels coming and bringing them home, and then you close the gate. And in that moment, you will feel like your heart, your body gets really warm, and you know that person is gone, or that soul, that spirit is gone.
Okay, that's one way to look at it, of course. But so if we're in circulation and we're coming back to another body, and my parents have been gone 25 years, it's like I'm never going to see them again because they're going to be in circulation already. They can't be in two places as a soul if they're coming into as a new entity. So we will probably see things or people or recognize things through the perception of the third eye ability, or the soul, the energy of the soul.
Of course.
Like, but I mean, who the hell's going to be waiting for me up? They're all going to be back here, going.
No, that's what I'm saying. When your dead can be reincarnated already somewhere, some planet or some dimension. At the same time, you can talk to the angel as he is watching over you. Like, we have so many dimensions and frequencies. Even right now here, there must be so many beings and spirits around me. Just because I can't see them doesn't mean they're not here.
I know. And I worry about privacy.
Yeah, I do. Sometimes you might be watched. It's okay. They have seen naked people. It's okay.
It might be, like, still, I mean, it's just one of those things. I don't quite understand that part of the perception of it, but they might be a little bit more freakier there than we are here. I don't understand it. But maybe it means nothing to them in sight of what they see anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't. For them, it's like, okay.
Right. So how many? There are many different life forms then within dimensions. Could you say that?
Wow, that's a lot, because I do starseed origin readings, and I have noticed not all have an origin, because some come from angel realms, archangel realms, Elohim's inner earth. There's so many dimensions and realities, and sometimes I see myself in another reality. So I'm in different, like I do inner mastery, for example, where I teach people how to tap into different timelines and create a timeline you want. And then when I have that, sometimes it's when people think they're going crazy. It's when you get a lot of downloads, you see yourself in different realities at the same time. This is the crazy part, because the layers, they overlap, and then it's like you're at the same time at the different realities. It's crazy, but that's what it is.
That's kind of like having the mystery dreams that you wake up from. You don't remember them all. There's blank spots in it. You remember maybe one thought versus two thoughts versus a place, a time, or a person, and none of it really makes sense. Is that how? And maybe in ways we reach that different frequency of reality through the dream. I'm not saying that it's actually a truth, but we can speculate that it may be one of them. So does that kind of collaborate with what you're saying?
Yeah, it's awesome. A perfect example, because a dream shows exactly that you can be in one dream in different places, different layers.
Wow. Okay. So that's what I do. All right. Interesting. Be careful what you wish for. I might be dancing with you next week. Okay.
That's okay.
I know. We got something coming in from Darlene. I'll read this. I had to do this with my father. I guess he would visit me every night. He died, but he was in a coma, then passed. I knew he worried about
Mm,
leaving me without saying goodbye. I had to light candles and see more. I had to light candles and tell him he could leave. I'm okay. I love him, and he left.
yes,
And I do
yes,
believe that people can connect to that dimensional part of a soul being, or some there's many different names and that people use for people, but they're no longer in body. They're definitely a spirit being. I guess would be the best way to analyze it.
frequency, just energy. We're all energy.
Right, and a lot of people don't know how to determine that, but like in demonic possession, some people do narrate around that fabric of space and time because there is none in that place. You
Yeah,
can have a million spirits that sit in your hand because they take up no space, but they're there. It's an
yes,
energy which is part of
yes.
the dark
There's a
matter.
lot of space between the atoms. Yes.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the whole dark energy theory, and the
Mm,
a
okay.
power function that people don't truly grasp one enough, or open themselves to understand it enough. Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty amazing.
Okay, first of all, greetings to Berlin. Liebe Grüße nach Berlin. And you did an awesome job, because you told your dad he can go. And that's so important. Please tell your people who are sick and in bed they can go. And if they're not supposed to go, then they will stay. If their time is not up, they will not leave. But some people, they die when you leave the room, because they're so attached to you that they will not die while you're in the room. So they will go when you're in the bathroom or whatsoever. I don't know. I'm talking a lot about the bathroom today. No idea why.
Well, you eat a lot. No,
Yeah.
you're right though, and that really reflects in with a good perspective of common sense. I've heard that many times before.
Yes, it's
The
true.
truth of the matter is
True.
they wait for that moment, like where
Yes,
I'll
when you
leave.
go.
Yeah, when I'll leave when I'm here myself on my own.
Yeah.
I often tell people, and in my day when and time when it comes, and I don't know if I'm being fair to people, I don't feel an announcement really needs to be necessary to anybody, because I want to leave them peaceful and at peace, and let them remember the
Yeah.
things. Even though I'm
It's
gone, it
yeah.
doesn't matter to me if people know it. Some people, this whole thing, a matter of respect, coming to honor a body. I can understand why people just say, "Oh, close the coffin." It doesn't make any difference. But I don't even foresee that I want that. I'm going to take this road trip because I have no choice. It's the only path I can take, and I'm willing to accept it. Not yet. I'm not quite done here. At least I don't think. I don't know. Do I have anything more to do here? Can you tell if I do? I don't know. I
Just
really
breathe
don't
in
want
and
to know
out.
everything. I
Just
fear
breathe.
knowing everything.
Just breathe in and out into your heart. No, don't focus on me. Focus on yourself. Breathe into your heart. You
Now?
focus. Yes, no.
Oh, okay. I'll do it. Hold on. I got to put down a lighter. I was going to light you a light because you were talking about
No.
light.
Yeah. You're
Oh
the
yeah, no,
light. I'm the light.
I'm
We are the
clear in my
light. We are the
mind. I'm
candle.
all in.
Yeah.
I'm all in. I'm clear in my
Yeah.
mind. I'm all in.
Now just breathe into your heart. It's don't make it complicated. Just breathe into your heart. Life can be easy. Just breathe into your heart. More, more, more. Deep, deep, deep. Normal. Just breathe normal. Yes. Okay. So first of all, yes, you can and you're supposed to learn to let things more flow. It's like you get stuck easily. It's just because you're sometimes overwhelmed by the things which happen around you because you're very sensitive and you're very psychic, which you haven't discovered yet because you associated with some common things which you heard in the past in your childhood and in your past lives there were some things. But I'm not going that deep now, but so yeah, there's something you still can release and heal to embrace your true self.
Oh, cool. So I got a lot to live for yet. Okay.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of
honestly,
beautiful things.
sometimes I fear news. You know, so I had
No.
somebody. I don't know if this person was real. Okay, I'm just going to share. It's real. It's short. It's simple. Evidently, you know, she had claimed that she could do some things, and she said one of the things that she did was analyze the palms and lettering and so forth. And she looked at my hands and would not say anything more. She wanted nothing to do with me. She actually became very negative, as if I was somebody very bad standing in front of her. Now, here was
Mm.
people that I watched her do and she gave insight to. And I told her, I said, nah, you don't have to look at me. It's somewhere. No, I'll do it. I'll do it. And when I showed her my hands and she looked at both sides, she said, flip them over. And she just, her eyes like looked like they wanted to come out of her head. What the? And I'm thinking to myself, I am never asking anybody for anything like this again in my life. I don't know
But
what
that's
she saw.
nonsense. She's a total stranger to you. Why are you putting so much importance into her than into yourself? You know what's best for you. You know who you are. It's
Well,
like
these
if
are
I say,
readers.
yeah, so and what? If a
Well,
cook, if there are 10 cooks, one cook is good, one learned it, and one is really crappy. So it's your choice. You have a certain food, what you want to eat. So you go to the place you like, not to the person who says who's a good cook. That's what it's like. I don't understand on this planet here. People go for talks and speeches. Just because someone says something doesn't mean that's how it is. It's always about your reality. It's about what you feel. It's about how you want it. It's your life. So be the creator, create your own life. If she has a weird reaction, you can ask her. If she doesn't reply, then just let it go. It's like, who is she to you that she
well,
makes such an impact in your life?
well, she volunteered, and then from that
So
point, I kind of just like, well, you know, you becoming like, God, I don't even want to know what that was about. You know,
no, you made a little, that's what I said about the broccoli. You made a little incident, a huge major trauma kind of a thing to your
I
life. That's,
agree. I agree. I was
yeah,
as
why?
guilty as her stupidity.
No, it's no, you gave her the power to have an excuse not to step in your power. That's all.
Okay.
No.
All
You
right.
have to take your power back and make your own decision. You can go to other palm reader and say, hey, what happened there? You can ask your soul and connect and close your eyes and ask, hey, close your eyes right now. Just do this exercise. Just close your eyes. Don't meditate anything. Just close your eyes. Go into your heart and ask, in that moment, why did she react to me in a certain way? And then see what picture, emotion, whatever comes up. Maybe you reminded her of someone she was dating or she had in her family, and she was, in a shock or whatever, which is nothing to do with you, but it just triggered her, you know,
Hmm.
because
Okay.
she's not a bad person. But in that moment, it was overwhelming for her because we're humans.
Right. I have somebody that said something here. Maybe you could help them a little bit. She says my mom's lives in a building for the elderly. Probably uh, been many people who have passed through the building. A few people, including my mom, have seen different spirits in their apartments. One of them has a very bad energy. It scares my mom. She tells them to leave. They no longer live there, and they go to and to tell them they no longer live there and go to the light. She also had a lady come in and do some prayers. So, not seeing the scary one since then, I guess at this point, she said it was a male figure when he had came to my mom's heavy brass cross would
Yeah,
be
I,
would
I,
turn
I, I'll,
upside
gi-
down.
I'll give the answer. Yeah, okay, all right. It's funny. I just had a client very similar. It's like the daughter is doing the healing activation with me, the course, and then she said, my mom is having this and this and this. And the very first thing her mom did is she was always apologizing. She didn't have self-esteem. She didn't have self-love, nor did she have self-worth. And that's most critical. This is like so important, okay? So if those spirits come, what happens? They go to people who are psychic. What do you think how many spirits I have to sometimes release and call my friend and ask her to help me, because sometimes I cannot do it by myself, because the spirits know I can help them. If you want something to eat, you will go to a restaurant. You're not going to a graveyard or to a cinema, right? You go to a restaurant, you go to a supermarket because you want to eat. So what do? They come to a person who can help them. That means your mom, your dad, whoever it is, has psychic abilities and has the ability to help them. But to not get affected by it, your dad or your mom needs to do the self-healing first. Where's the frequency of? Why is she doubting herself? Why is she attracting those to them? Not like she needs to learn how to release them because she has psychic abilities. So what I do is I look into self-healing, self-worth, and then I teach them how they can help themselves. So they're not bad. And this is not a bad thing. This is just that it's like a child which cries. It's like it can get really into your ears and you say, what a bad child, but the child cries for a reason. So you take the child, you hold it, you either feed them, you change the napkin or whatever, the diaper or whatever the thing is called, or maybe it has some tummy pain, so you rub the tummy. So every spirit, every demon, whoever comes, they're not bad. They just need help, and you need to learn how to help them. And that's the whole thing.
So you don't think there's a difference of light and dark, good and bad?
No, I don't believe in that.
I
Sorry.
mean, what we hear, all right. So content of books all have been written by man, of course, but there are informations out there that kind of influence us. That there were good angels, there were bad, there were the fallen, and then they're deep in the pits of hell, and this other, what is it, Garthia, whatever they call it, that's not true. A fact, they're all good, even though they've committed some type of something.
We all come from source. We're all here to make an experience. Please go to
Right.
YouTube, listen to the video or the book, read it. Neil Donald Walsh, The Little Angel. We all come from source. We come here to make an experience. Let's say we both are like the best buddies in the entire universe, in the entire cosmos, okay? And you tell me, Agatha, I want to feel how it feels to be killed by someone. And I would look at you and I say, why would you want to do that? And you say, please, I want to make this experience. I want to know how it feels in my body. I want to have this. I have no idea. I cannot grab it. I cannot feel it. So we both incarnate on earth. We don't know each other anymore. We have forgotten who we are. One day I have this really bad days. I have an overdose in drugs or whatever. And I run around with a knife and I see you, but I don't see you. I think you are some evil something. And I stab you and I kill you. You might think, oh my gosh, I'm the worst person ever, being human. But your soul, looking at my soul, sees, wow, Agatha, you loved me so much that you did this for me. The most difficult part in life, which was a huge challenge for me, you did that because you loved me so much. That's like a soul contract. So even if someone gets raped, if someone gets hurt, there's a contract. That's why people say there's karma. I know it sounds very brutal and cruel, but every trauma is there to be healed and released, because when something happens to you and you heal it not just for yourself, you heal it for the ancestor lineage. And many star seeds and many people who are born now, when we go through certain traumas, because we attract them through frequency and we heal it, we are healing it because the ancestor lineage from the wartime, whatever, they went through so many traumatic incidents. And once we heal it just not for us, we heal it for them and the entire cosmos and universe and earth.
I get what you're saying. And information is always important. And I think people are going to have to, for some people, sometimes information is hard to absorb. And, I hope, with what people hear when we talk about things like this, that they can find a place to allow the messages to come through, because it always seems that there's a second part or another side to every story. And that's not a bad thing, but you analyze things in two ways to try to set an example as to
The
why.
balance. It's the
Yes,
balance. You
yes,
need to
that's
be in
it. Yeah,
balance. Otherwise, you're lost. And that's what happens. You are not black, you're not white. You have to be in the balance. You're everything. And that's when
yeah.
the problem starts. Yeah.
I wonder why the shells had to be so indifferent. I mean, not that, yeah, it's fascinating, on many levels for humanity and for people. We all have interest. We all see something different in different ways. So I guess maybe that was part of bits and pieces of the entire process of it all, as we learn what this whole, some people call it, the educational program. And if you don't do good the first time around, you'll be back to do better the next, or, to keep going until. Do you believe in that part of the consciousness that you will return until you get it right? And what is, I don't even know how to base what's right when I really weigh so many things.
To enjoy life, to be happy, to have the balance, to create your own reality. That's
Oh,
that's the
I do
thing. That's
think, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I'm all with that. I forgot about it, but I no, I believe in what you said, and I'm here. I'm talking, and then you waking me right back up by saying, create this place. If you create this
Yeah.
place, you'll have it over in this place, which is the place you
Yeah.
wanted to be.
And it's the same thing, when about the palm reader woman. Ask yourself, why did you create that moment? What were you supposed to learn? Not to give so much importance to others, but more to yourself.
Yeah, I know. And again, it was just a weird thing. I was just standing there, and I didn't have no choice. I was in a workplace. It was like I had to be where I was. Um, And again, the offer came, and I just thought, oh yeah, I didn't even want it. So it's like one of those things. But I got your message. That's what's most important. I didn't. I guess I didn't challenge the fact of in the way that you said. I could have questioned it all and made and probably cured my own uh, decision of what it meant. So into the future, as things, if things like this ever do occur again, I, as well as one, meaning everyone out there, should weigh in and collect their consciousness. And as you suggested, close your eyes and reach into your soul and analyze it the best way they can for
Yes.
themselves.
And most important is this, that's like what insurance and sales people do. They ask you lots of questions till you say yes, 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 there's a strategy behind it. And then they kind of pressure you that you give an answer right away. Always be in your power. You say, I sleep over it, I decide later, I take my time, step back. Always. This is something we have to learn. I had to learn. Like many times people were pressuring me into something and I'm like, wow, they're so smart. And then I said, no, I take my time. And if it feels right, then I know they will step back also. They will give you space if they're honest. If they're not honest, they will keep pressuring you and then you know something is off.
Right.
It's like when people say, oh, I want a healing session. I told one guy, I said, you know what? I'm not going to convince you I'm a good healer, because he's like, will it help? I said, I'm not here to convince you that I'm the best healer in the world or whatsoever. I'm here to guide you. And you can already see if you have a good feeling about me or not. If you don't have a good feeling, then move on and meet someone else. Like I would never ever someone pressure someone to come to me because it feels wrong. It's also very heavy and a burden to me if someone is like resisting. I don't want to work like that.
No, yeah, there has to be a purpose of free will between, because that's the purpose of it. One has to accept what's being received, and they're not willing to receive you, they're not accepting it. So it's in that
Yeah,
blank spot again, that
yeah.
gray area, that washy area between the worlds, as I call it. And that's where all this information seems to be, between the worlds. That's why we are so fascinated with research. And so I did have a question though that came in. Healer, food, health, someone having a lung problem, can you make any suggestion to them as to ease pain, or give them a little bit more confidence and stability?
Okay. Lung meridian. I work holistically, right? So I will look at body, mind, and soul. So I go through all levels in one session. So what happens is the lung is connected to the lung meridian, which is the thumb. So what you can do is you can, wait, so you take the thumb and keep pressing the thumb. You can also tap the lung meridian. You just Google it, Google at meridians, lung meridian. The lung is connected about I'm tolerant towards myself and others. I don't know the German word, but please Google it, okay? Because I'm not able to translate it like right now. I don't know the English word. So the
Okay.
lungs is about breathing. I'm alive. I'm breathing. I'm breathing. I'm alive. It's also freedom. I'm free. People who have asthma, they have lots of restriction, control issues. Asthma is also allergies, which is still stored in the body. So those things make a big difference when you not know about the lungs and then the energy and the emotions behind this, what's stored behind this. What you can do is you can find someone and ask if they do kinesiology with them. That would help, or you tap the meridian points and you can visualize, helping visualizing that the lungs are good and healthy. This is something a good healer, what a good healer does, he will give you tools to heal yourself. He will help you to release because in that moment you're not strong enough to pull yourself out of the hole. And what he does is he's visualizing for you that you're healthy and strong. This is what a good healer does. Okay. So yeah, this is like if you give me the and sometimes it's okay when people are in pain and suffering because it's their choice. It's like an experience they make. So we are not supposed to save everyone. It's like there's a saying, if a horse is thirsty and you pull the horse to the water, the horse still has to drink themselves. You cannot help someone if they don't want help. So please respect if someone doesn't want help. But you can always send good vibes their way, but always make sure that you respect their wishes. Some people say, that's very important. Okay, some people say they're sick because they want attention, they want love. This is their way how they learn to get attention and love. Some people are sick, they want to be sick, you just leave them, please. Like how
Yeah.
they respect their wishes. And some people are sick, they really want to make a change, they want to be healthy, but they will do a lot themselves to be healthy. This is very important.
Yeah, some people do make dumb mistakes like that, represent themselves one way. I remember as a kid, we used to try tricking the nuns, to get out of stuff and whatnot. And then would have to fake it going homes. And then to be like, your parents are like, well, what happened? Why are you moving like that? I mean, and here you are caught in this big thing where one led to the next and the next led to the next. And you wake up in the middle of the night to pee and your mother's standing there. It's like, there's nothing wrong with you.
Oh my God.
Well, you wake up, you're not thinking about it. You went to bed like,
Yes,
and
yes.
then here you're gonna be off tomorrow. The nun's called home. Something happened to him. He's acting really weird, and yeah, I shouldn't have did that, I guess. But yeah,
It's okay. No. It's all good.
yeah.
You made an experience. You had fun, right? And then you got
I
the
don't
energy back.
remember
It's
if it
okay.
was for fun or to get out of it, but whatever. Yeah. But there are people out there that mentally create their own sicknesses. I truly believe that, or
Yes,
they
totally.
just practice
Always,
bad
always,
methods. They want to be
always.
the biggest bar drunk that causes the problem. But it
Yeah,
reflects all the same. They create that
yeah,
environment that they want, and for some people it's like they feed on it. It's sad,
yes,
but they do. They feed on it because
yes.
everybody
Big
should be able to
time.
go. Yeah, everybody should be
Me
able to go.
be Yes, me being a healer, I always say I don't work with all the people because some people they spend money, yes, but they suck a lot of energy. I'm not going to work with them. I work with people who want to take their own how they say authority and to like responsibility. You need people who are responsible for themselves. That's important. We
Yeah,
have like 2 minutes left because I have some more work, but we can always do another video. So if there's one question or two questions, if you have, please let me know.
let's see. Very attentive people, but not very many questions. So why don't we do this? I want to help your format. The Octorians, 244,000 become a member. Very beautiful people. Lots of beautiful young ladies and gentlemen um, who are star seeds and more. Please visit that group and support Agatha Folia. Please, it's F
Thank
O
you.
H L I E R or is it L-E-R?
Fohler.
Okay,
But
L-E-R.
it's just Facebook Arcturians.
Right. But then what is your YouTube channel?
Oh, that's Arena International. Aurena and then International.
There
Thank
you go.
you.
Let's make her grow. Let's make the world more positive with people that can help influence
Oh, maybe I
spiritually
can say
more.
something. You know,
You're gonna
Michael,
sing?
I don't know where you live, but I'm planning to go to America, to the States soon, and I would love to start like a one-day workshop retreat, a
Okay.
seminar in Sedona. I think this is like I'm planning to do that, even Costa Rica one day and one day in Sedona, maybe around
Sedona,
May, June.
California. You're gonna be down by 501. Ah, I might be able to get you on land you on a big show down there. I'll make a call to somebody and I'll send a message through to somebody.
That
No,
would be
really.
so cool. That would be so, I
Yeah.
just want to do like a one-day seminar for, like for star seeds,
Okay.
talk about certain things, help to do some healing activation stuff.
I can only try to do my best. I am in
Yeah,
touch with
that's
somebody on a
awesome.
much bigger
That's awesome.
platform that could probably he loves things just like this. So it would fit perfectly with his audience and everything, and the people that follow him. I mean, the narrative is very big, but he's very respectful guy. I'll go back and look some information up, get in touch with him, and see. You're gonna have to let me know when because he's very specific to things. So off here. We'll make a connection and figure out what your plan
Thank
is
you. Cool.
and we'll figure that part out. Well, sure, why not? Oh, wait a minute. There's somebody came through here. We
Yeah.
had to restart the computer. Oh, I'm sorry. Could you ask her why the male spirit actually physically moves mom's heavy breath? Oh, wait a minute. I thought I did that.
Yeah, you were reading that.
So, all right. Well, her mom's asking that maybe they misunderstood something. Uh, I guess this spirit is moving a very heavy brass cross. Um,
What's that? Breast cross. Oh, he wears a cross.
No, there's a brass
What?
cross that must be hanging in the house. It's a representation to Jesus dying on the cross through Catholic religions. It's what some
I
people.
don't get it. So the spirit is still there, even though the cross is there, and she's asking why the spirit can cross that cross?
It's moving it. It's touching it and physically moving the
Oh,
cross.
I don't
I mean, do
know.
we surround
Maybe.
it in salt? Do we suggest
Is
some
it
type of root or
okay? To be honest, I don't have crosses in my home. What I do is I put flowers. I believe in nature, and I like my dad had a huge cross in the bedroom, and I that's the first thing I removed because I don't like those that Jesus like half dead. Like I don't want to look at something like this. But what I do is I have this beautiful. 1 second. Let me just come back. 1 second.
okay, sweetheart. When it shows up, it gets moved upside down. I get it. And you're not the first one I've heard that from. To me, we do call it demonic. However, in some cases here, like we're learning tonight, that it's even though bad might have been and persecution came to some, uh,
See.
it doesn't mean they're all bad because they came from the beginning, which was all good. So,
See, so I
mhm.
too, how beautiful is this? I mean, this is a Jesus who's healthy, who's happy, who's in full power and the healing race, and the same with Mother Mary. So I have those things in my home. Maybe you think about changing that because sometimes, as I said, spirits are not bad, they're here to help us. It's like when you have a lot of ants in your home, you say, oh, those ants come to my home. But yeah, they're thirsty, but you can wipe them out every day and throw them out and talk to them and see because there's a collective with each animal which comes to you, there's a collective and information, and the same thing. That's what spirits do as well. So there's something you have to learn or realize to release.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe there's actually, it could be a very good spirit and it's just
yeah,
trying to
exactly.
say, look down. Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe there's something that's on a lower level.
it doesn't
Uh,
feel like bad. It doesn't. And most of the
to you,
times
it,
people think they're bad. They're not. They're
all
not
right, so
bad.
you're not getting a bad vibe from what's
No,
being said here. All right, well,
no.
the best way that Agatha can say it is she's not getting any type of immediate bad feelings. And you can consider just maybe removing it for a while and representing Jesus with more enlightened type of pictures in some way. Or maybe it's a message, just as we have found out in this world, that there's very dark actions occurring. And maybe somebody's sending a message that represents that. We can hypothetically think that. We don't know it for fact.
No,
But
that's
maybe
not
they're
true.
saying,
There are a lot of beautiful things happening on this planet. A lot of people are awakening. I don't know why you keep saying that.
who,
The
me?
planet is
Because we've been
waking up.
waiting for years. It's always been in the process of history.
Yeah, but
And it's
it's
not an
not all
argument.
bad things.
Yeah, I'm not
Even
trying to
COVID.
represent bad. I'm trying to give a
Yeah,
balance to the format for people to not misjudge anything that's represented. That's all. I'm trying to create
yeah,
a positive influence. Not everybody will ever accept everything. You know that. And you even said you cannot care for people who will be stuck in that type of position. But I'm the type that has enough care to try to at least support everyone, no matter what the decision is, kind of because that's the platform that makes.
yeah. But that means that the world has a lot of positive changes, and it's important to focus on that.
And I
As I
want
said
that,
in the beginning,
and I do want
it's
that.
the focus. Yeah,
Yeah, and I want all of that. Everything that you
yeah,
said,
which is awesome.
I wish we could change it for better in all ways, but then the balance
It's
would no
your
longer be
reality. That's what
necessary.
I'm saying. This is exactly what I'm saying. It's like you wake up in the morning and it's your reality. You can be in a war zone and you can be safe. This is
Oh,
what
for
I'm
me, yes.
saying.
For me,
Yeah.
yes. I live that
Everyone,
life.
everyone. Yeah.
That's the interesting part.
That's the
Um,
I'm talking to everyone. I'm not talking to you in specific. I'm like, it's
okay.
your choice out there. When I say you, I mean the people like who are listening. So it's your choice. You can wake up in the morning, you can say the word is bad. You can wake up in the morning, say the word is beautiful. You can look at a bird and say, oh, the noisy bird. Or you can say, wow, look at the beautiful bird is singing for me.
Right.
Try it out. If you don't try, you will never
I
know.
do every day, and I hope other people do. I really do.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to influence because somewhere to me, we can restore the balance without a doubt. Don't you think?
Yes.
Yeah, we have to be the influence for
Yeah.
whatever lies ahead into this future. No doubt about it. Thank you so much, Agatha. I love you to
You're
death. You're
welcome.
very
Thank
positive.
you.
You're very and I like your strength because when you make up your mind, you let me know. I need I need those checkpoints. I really do because I love the conversation. I love the information. And I really do love what you're doing. You influence people
Thank you.
positively. Remember, everybody, the Arcturian group, 244,000 strong. If you'd like to become a part of
Thank
it
you.
and check out more, please do. And she's already said she'll come back and visit again with us all soon. Please like,
Yeah.
share, push it out to all your favorite groups, talk about it, and maybe we can do an open chat format where you guys can
That
call
would
in.
be cool. That
Yeah,
would be so cool. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we have the abilities here to be able to do it. So thank you for honoring that and agreeing to it already. Have a great night, and I do. I appreciate you. Keep the food going. Kisses back, sweetheart. And to all you out there, don't judge us. We'll never judge you. We'll be back again soon. Take care, sweetheart.
Bye.
Bye.